So, premium practice kit. Are they worth it? My name is Joven and welcome to Project Beats. Before we dive in, if you like these types of videos, help me out by hitting subscribe. I know I've been posting sporadically, but I'm hoping to be able to do this more consistently, and be more full time. So I appreciate you guys who are sticking around, and your support means a lot. Thank you. Okay, as you know, I was in the market for a good practice kit, and I ended up getting the Tama True Touch practice kit, because primarily it ticks a lot of what's important to me. I understand it's not for everyone, but before I point out the things that I like, here are some more examples playing with two different cymbal solutions. So my idea here is to minimize the overall sustain and ring. So I added a cymbal felt or cympad at the bottom, held by nut and bolt and washer. Honestly, I like it better than just the open low volume cymbals. This is my favorite configuration, as I can sit down and not worry about bothering anybody, even when they are in the same room. Oh. Okay, let's get noise level out of the way. It is softer, not by much, but it's softer than the mesh heads. It's not scientific, but I just feel like it's softer than the Evans DB1. Not by a long shot, but it's softer. And I didn't really have the time to do an A-B comparison with an acoustic drum, so I'll put a link of the best ones that I have found so far down in the description. Okay, so for the first demo, the one that you saw was my B20 low volume cymbal. It was a cheap one out of AliExpress. It's just what I currently have, and I didn't have the budget to buy a LAT or a Meinl MCS. Because if I were to get a new one, those two will be my top two options, apart from maybe the Evans DB1 low volume set. But to be honest, my favorite setup will be this lemon rubber E cymbal that is just as is, not connected to anything. Because this one I could just practice really anytime I want. It's a set and forget type of practice solution. Yeah, I'm not really bothered by not having a cymbal sound because my priority here is just to sit, practice anytime, really anytime I want, and then get on to doing chops or if there's something that I'm working on for the week or whatnot, right? My thinking was less friction, the better, basically. I didn't want to think about, having to bother anybody else, right? Plus, I do have a good amount of practice time with my actual acoustic drums in the studio where I work. I actually moved my drum set from here to the studio where I work, all the recording rig and all that. I'd be happy to do a tour if you guys like to see that. But I have uploaded a couple of videos in Instagram and YouTube with that setup already working. So another thing is this kit is really very quiet, where if you put a low volume cymbal, there will be an imbalance of sound, basically, right? The cymbals would come out way louder than the drums, and I didn't really want to adjust the way I play just to compensate for that, which really you will tend to do whether subconsciously or not. So yeah, that's why I chose this setup. Okay, here are some few points that made me go with this kit. Number one is space. Here in Singapore, space is a premium, and I don't have a lot. Forgive me if I keep looking that way, guys. I need to look up my notes, otherwise this will be an hour-long video. Right, okay, so let's move on. So backstory, my drum kit had to go mainly because of two reasons. One, it's been growing a lot, so I've been putting and adding more cymbals, more drums to it. I'm running out of space, basically. To the point that the wife is starting to call our unit my studio that she had to live in, right? So something's got to give, right? And number two, I couldn't really record in this space anymore for about maybe a year or two now. Not because I'm loud, it's because the neighbors are very loud. Both houses now, this guy just finished rebuilding his house from the ground up. So that has been going on for about a year or two. I thought it's going to be a few months, but then it dragged on for a couple of months and now years. And when this guy finished, this other guy started. So yeah, I'm done waiting. I had to move so I could keep doing, doing creative things and record, right? It's it's literally like an Armageddon here in this space for about 2+ more years now. Plus, it kind of feels nice to reclaim the space back, right? Second point, as I've mentioned already, it is very quiet, which is kind of the point, right? The only thing that will make it louder, again, as I said, is the cymbal options you put in. But if you're not bothered with louder cymbals, if you don't mind, of course you are free to go with what you feel like. For me personally, I like this setup. Third reason is feel. Basically, the most important point for me. So the feel is incredible. It reacts as well as an acoustic drums. You are not losing any feel at all. If I would have a complaint, that would be the kick pad. Don't get me wrong, it's the best feeling kick pad, practice pad out there by far, except for the Evans DB1. That would edge out a little bit over this. But the rest of the drums feels very nice, very solid. The whole kit just gives you the right amount of resistance and give, and it actually feels very, very close, if not exactly like an acoustic drum. The problem with the kick pedal is it returns to you back some of that energy you put in, so it kind of rattles your foot back. The solution I found is use a wool beater. This helped with that. it still has that energy return, but not as bad. Of course, it's gonna be way worse with cheaper kick pads like the Drumeo one, DW Go Anywhere. What else? Those folding old Evans kick practice pad. Some of those aren't really that cheap, but those feel much worse. Trust me. I own some of them, which is exactly why we're having this series, right? The better kick pad that's cheap is the Gibraltar, the round one. That one's a very old model, but if you can find one, you can probably get it for very cheap. That one feels way better than those branded ones. So go with that if you're on a budget. Okay, so next point, it's travel friendly. This is very lightweight. Apart from some other bits, is generally travel friendly. I've seen Nick the Virgilio from Sweetwater. He has been bringing this around on his tour with Mr. Big, if I'm not wrong. But yeah, I've been seeing his Instagram post that he has been using this for warm-ups and practice and whatnot with a low volume cymbal set, probably Evans one. But yeah, so travel friendly. If I need to do that, maybe just bring the snare, kick pad. Yeah, very nice. Okay, next point is tones. So for tone, there is a good amount of tone. You can really differentiate the toms across the drums. And also for the snare, if you're unaware, they have put in small beads on the inside. I believe there's still foam under here, under the mesh head right here. There's foam there. This, by the way, is like a cloth-like material. And then some foam underneath that for all of it. Yeah, wrapped in like plastic housing. These are different sizes, by the way. So this is bigger, maybe an inch bigger than this. Not that much, but yeah. And this is much bigger than. That's why you have that distinct tone. I could actually use it for teaching. I might need to change to the low volume cymbal setup if I'm teaching. Not if I'm teaching like a Metallica piece or some, Dream Theater type of drum piece. But for beginners and, standard pop, this could very well be a good teaching kit without you having to, have a shouting match against or with your student, right? And lastly, another reason why I got interested in this kit is, maybe it doesn't matter to you, but, it kind of says something to me personally. So yeah, there are a couple of big name signed drum or artist drummers that are signed with other brands that is using this for their practice kit at home and demo and teaching and whatnot. That to me says a lot about the quality of this kit, right? Because Meinl has a practice pad, other brands has a practice kit, but they went for this, right? Maybe that's just me, but I thought that meant something. And to be honest, I had this for quite a bit now. It sort of like encourages me to just sit down and, mindlessly go through some of the riffs I've been working on and whatnot, right? I have practiced more with this kit versus when I had the big drum set right here. Actually, even when I had the A2E E drums I had before, I kind of like this better than the E drums. Sorry. Sorry for those E drum fans, but I hate fapping about the module and trying to find the sound and a few things that gets me irritated and whatnot, right? I just want to practice. So to me, that mentality of, reducing or removing all frictions would, help you at least get to your goals far better than having all the bells and whistles. But it starts to become like distraction, right? And this actually helped me a lot to really sit down and practice. It encourages me, so to speak, if I can say that. That sounded weird coming out, but yeah. I felt the urge to practice more, basically. Because I know I won't bother anyone. I can just go straight to doing what I need to do or, I want to work on and stuff like that. So to answer the question, are premium kits, practice kits, worth it? It is for me, it certainly is. But of course, there is no one solution that fits everyone, right? And for transparency, I am not sponsored in any way. I wish I am, but I paid for this one with my hard-earned cash, albeit on sale. Actually, that's why I jumped on it, because it was on sale. Otherwise, we probably won't be having this conversation. Okay, question to you guys. What are your thoughts about practice kit, premium practice kit, cheap practice kit? How does it affect? How does it work for you? I think that's about it for this video. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Or if you have suggestions for me to try next, I'll try to get to it. And if you like this video, drop me a like. While you're there, consider subscribing. All right, see you on the next project.